Alright, boys and girls, today we are going to begin our Faith Ringgold inspired cityscape. So last time we were together, we were working on a practice drawing where we were learning how to draw a bridge, and then we were using draw, skip, draw to build in the buildings of our city. So today we're going to do it on this dark blue piece of paper because we're using the book and story quilt Tar Beach as our inspiration for our artwork. And in that story, it was a nighttime cityscape scene, and so that's why we're using the dark blue paper today. So to start our bridge, we are going to do just what we did last time, and you can always go back and reference that video if you do not remember. But we will start our bridge making a line across our paper. We're going to go ahead and make 2 lines right down here at the bottom. This is going to be the bridge that we are driving on or walking on. Next, I'm going to put 2 tall lines, and these will be the vertical structures that hold up our bridge. We're doing all of this in pencil. I know it's a little bit hard to see on your dark paper, but there's a very important reason that we're only using pencil right now, so we'll get to that a little bit later. Next, we're going to put the hanging curved lines of the wires of our bridge off to the sides, and then we're going to do the same thing right here in the middle, and it hangs down just a little and then scoops back up to the top. And then the next thing we'll do is we're going to go ahead and put the cables of our bridge, which are just going to be some vertical lines that connect and support our bridge. Do this all the way across. Now that we have our bridge drawn, we are going to start working in some buildings, and again we are going to use a pencil to start. So some of your buildings might be down here in the foreground of your artwork, which is the part that's the closest to you. Some of your buildings might even be overlapping your bridge, which is another reason why or the main reason why it's so important that we use pencil back here, because some of that bridge might actually get erased. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to put a nice tall building that actually overlaps part of my bridge, just like this. Okay, so then I would need to take my eraser and come back in and erase the bridge that is in my building. And again, we can use different shapes for our buildings. So a rectangle is a very popular shape, but you can layer those shapes. You can put half circles or domes. You can have some shorter, wider buildings, and then maybe some buildings. I'm going to make another little rooftop here for this guy. And then behind here, I'm going to put some overlapping buildings using draw, skip, draw. So I skip, draw, and then skip the back side. I'm going to put another one that overlaps my bridge just a little bit here. This one I'm going to actually kind of have 2 levels so that you can see that it is behind this one in the front. And again, I'm going to need to erase my bridge that is in the middle of my building. So we are going to keep going, thinking about how we can make lots of variations. So we have our tall, our medium, our small, we have some overlapping. I'm going to go ahead and put another building back here that's overlapped by these 2 buildings. So I'm going to make that structure come down here behind. And again, I'm just going to erase this little part of my bridge that is in the middle of my building. Sometimes buildings in the city have really tall spires almost, which is like a tall hole that comes out of the top there. And again, I need to erase my bridge in the middle of that building. So here we have some overlapping showing here. We have overlapping and draw, skip, draw, and we have lots of buildings. Now that I have the main shapes of my buildings, I'm going to switch from pencil to construction paper crayon, and we're going to start adding some details to our buildings. And I'm going to pause my video and come back with my construction paper crayons. Okay, so now I have my construction paper crayons, and these crayons are a special type of crayon that show up on dark paper like this. So you can choose any colors that you want, and I'm just going to start by outlining my first building. We are not going to outline our bridge. We have something special that we're going to do with our bridge a little bit later. We can add details to our buildings, like doors and windows. I think I'll use a brighter color here. So we might have some doors. We can add details like the floors or the levels of the building. And of course, maybe we have some windows here and there. And we can color in our buildings. So once we have our details in our buildings, we're going to make sure that all of these gets colored in rather, nice and neat. And as I said before, we are not using crayon on our bridge. The bridge is going to get a very special kind of marker, and if you color your bridge or trace your bridge with crayon, then the marker will not cover over the top of it. So we have to make sure that we are leaving our bridge just pencil for today, and we'll talk more about that special bridge next time. Okay. So after I get this one done, I'm just going to go ahead and move on to my next building. And we'll get that one traced. Again, you can use any colors that you want. It does not matter. We might have, I didn't draw this with my pencil, but I just had the idea, so I'm going to draw it in with crayon. I'm going to make it look like there is a kind of front porch. Maybe this is a hotel with a fancy columns here over the front door. Okay, so you get the idea. So you are going to use your construction paper crayons then to work on your buildings only.